Welcome to Smart Stock Watch, your go-to channel for in-depth financial analysis. Today is February 26, 2025, and we're diving into the latest earnings report from the Bank of Montreal. Joining us is John, our senior analyst from Smart Stock Watch. John, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. The Bank of Montreal has just released its earnings report for the quarter ended January 31st, 2025. There's a lot to unpack, so let's get started.
Earnings coverage ratios. Let's begin with the earnings coverage ratios. The Bank of Montreal reported an interest coverage ratio of 24.45 times. John, what does this indicate about the bank's financial health?
This is a strong indicator of the bank's ability to meet its interest obligations. A coverage ratio of 24.45 times suggests that the bank is generating ample earnings to cover its interest expenses, which is a positive sign for investors.
And what about the dividend coverage ratio, which stands at 22.88 times?
Similarly, the dividend coverage ratio of 22.88 times indicates that the bank is well positioned to meet its dividend obligations. This is reassuring for shareholders who rely on dividend income.
Exchange rates and earnings. The report also mentions the exchange rates used for the calculations. How do these rates impact the bank's earnings?
The exchange rate of 1.382 cents per US dollars was used to convert foreign currency amounts to Canadian dollars. This affects the bank's reported earnings, especially if they have significant operations in the US or other foreign markets.
And the earnings before interest on subordinated indebtedness and income tax were reported at $11.15 billion. How does this compare to previous periods?
This is an increase from the previous period, indicating growth in the bank's earnings capacity. It reflects the bank's ability to generate higher pre-tax earnings, which is a positive development.
EPS forecast and analyst expectations. Analysts had forecasted an EPS of $1.68 based on a survey of 4 analysts. How does this align with the bank's actual performance?
While the actual EPS hasn't been explicitly mentioned in the report, the strong earnings coverage ratios and pre-tax earnings suggest that the bank is performing well. We'll need to look at the detailed financial statements for the exact EPS figure.
Key takeaways. In summary, the Bank of Montreal has demonstrated strong financial health with impressive coverage ratios and earnings growth. John, any final thoughts on the bank's investment prospects?
The bank's robust financial metrics and ability to cover its obligations make it an attractive option for investors seeking stability and income. However, it's always important to consider market conditions and potential risks.
Thank you, John, for your insights. And thank you to our viewers for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Smart Stock Watch. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the Bank of Montreal's performance in the comments below.